Hello, and welcome to the stream tonight. Now, I'm going to dig into why, but can I just get a sanity check from anyone that's in the chat room regarding whether they can both see me and whether they can hear me? Is it all working, Maurice? What are your thoughts? Both 100%. Okay, so that's good. So the reason that I ask is basically everything broke. So what I mean by that is prior to last week's stream, sound and video are a bit off. What does that mean? As in, you hear me, or are you trying to say that I'm out of sync with my audio and my video are out of sync? Is that what you're saying? Hello Nils, how are you? I wanted to confirm what Maurice is saying first. I hear the words and 1 second later you see your mouth moving. Okay, so I'm not sure what's going on there, but let's now we're in sync again. Okay, so let me just explain a little bit about what changed, and I'll try and explain what's going on. So normally I use OBS. Hey Augusto, how's it going? I normally use OBS, and I think that as a result of me updating my Mac to Big Sur, and also I did a reboot as well, and in doing that, I think I broke OBS. So whenever I try and use OBS now, it just crashes. As soon as I open my default streaming scene collection, it just breaks. Now, there's an open issue in the OBS Studio GitHub repository, but so far they've not been able to narrow down what's going on. So rather than continue to have stuff break, I'm now using Streamlabs OBS, which is a fork of OBS, and it's not crashing. So I'm going to try using this. Now, it's a completely different setup. Some things are different, some things are the same, but that's quite why I wanted to check to see if things were still working. Now, one thing that kind of comes along for the ride is it's something I've been wanting to set up for a while, but I've now hooked up because it's just out of the box with Streamlabs. But if someone were to follow me or to raid me or to do that cheer thing that some folks do, then nowadays I'll get notifications popping up. So you should. So I've just sent in a test. So you'll see this Tails character pop up with what happened as. So now you'll see that Maurice just cheered. So you will get notifications. Now why that was a triangle, I don't know. I would have expected the fox dude, Miles, to be, or Tails, Miles Power was his name. I expected him to be for all of them, but maybe not. So anyway, so that's integrated now. The other thing that's integrated is, yeah, it's still a triangle. Not sure what's going on there, but thanks for the cheers anyway. The other thing that I've incorporated, and this was kind of coming off the back of some of the chocolate events, is that I've figured out how to feature a particular comment. So there's a thing called featured.chat, and I have promoted Maurice and Kim, if he's on the chat room, to be moderators of said featured chat. So what they should be able to do, if there's a comment that I have to take notice of, Maurice should be able to, and he's doing it right now, I can see him doing it, he should feature that comment and it'll appear in the middle of the screen there. So if there's something that I really need to see and I've missed it in the chat, then Maurice and anyone else who I've made moderators of the system will be able to highlight that so that we can be able to discuss things. So if sometimes I try and keep up with things that are going on in the chat, sometimes I don't. So if there is something that we need to talk about, then the idea is that Maurice and or Kim and or anyone else that I promote would be able to feature that so that we can see what's going on. Now there's a little bit of I can see the sync issue happening now, I think. I think it's because my machine is just working extra hard. So is there anything else I can close off so that I don't take up too much resources? Let's maybe close this guy down as well, so that, you know what, let's just quit out of this so that it's not running. That will take that out, but that's fine. That will hopefully free up some CPU cycles and things will get better. If not, we'll just see how it goes. So that's where we're going to come to next, Nils, in the chat. So, or let me do a couple of things first, and then we'll come to that. The first thing I wanted to bring to your attention, if you're not already following along, our Chocolatey, company I work for, obviously, I've got the hat on, all that sort of stuff. Our 12 Days of Chocolate event is continuing. So today we had an event with Stevie and Adil doing a talk on building packages, both using the open source version and the Chocolate for Business features that you can bring into the table. Tomorrow is QDE, so if you've not seen QDE and you've not played with QDE, Stevie's doing a talk on all things about the quick deployment environment. So have a look at that and definitely follow along. I was really happy with the talk that I did on Friday. Oh, look at that. Where did you pull that from? I don't think I even... Where did you pull that from? That's a custom one. I see what you did there, Maurice. You did a custom message. Well done. I like it. So I did a talk on Friday, which was me with a digital pen walking through a series of pictures, which was basically the organizational use of Chocolatey. Had a lot of fun. So that was Friday's one. If you can watch it back on YouTube, or it's still on Twitch and all those places for a while, so you can follow back on that if you want to. But yeah, there's lots more content, so dig into that a little bit if you're interested. The other thing I wanted to mention is that, so we're now, last week was my hello Kim, how's it going? I don't know if you heard the part where I said I've done something to your account, or if you've just come on the stream. If you didn't hear that, I've made you a moderator of a new thing that I've got going on, which is featured.chat, which will allow both you and Maurice at the minute, I'll probably add others, to feature comments into the stream. Maybe maybe Maurice can do another one. So if you want to go ahead and feature that comment from Kim, Maurice, that would be great. Basically, if I miss something during a stream, then you can feature messages, and I'll more likely to see that pop up. So if there's something you want to talk about, or something important, both you and Maurice at the minute can do that. And it's just it's a website you can log into, and you can click a button. And I've also incorporated different things for integration. It's something I've been speaking about all the time. So I've now got alerts popping up for when something happens on the stream in terms of being followed, subscribed, and all that sort of stuff. So basically, I've done what I probably should have done when I first started some of this stuff, but just playing catch up. So last week was my birthday stream. The intention of last week's birthday stream was to publish the latest version of the Cake VSCode Extension, the version 1.0.0. For one reason or another, we didn't get to it, but the day after, I did submit a new version. So all the stuff that we've been working on the last 6-7 weeks, or however many streams we were doing, it's now available. So if you haven't played with it yet, I would encourage you to take it for a spin. Augusto has raised at least one issue. That issue that we saw on stream when we were testing, when there was a downloading of the bootstrapper error with it wasn't even a connection timeout. It was some sort of weird, obscure HTTP error. I was kind of hoping it was this is happening on my machine only issue, but it happened on Augusto's machine as well. So Augusto's raised that as an issue to look into it, to dig into at some point. And Augusto's saying, I haven't been able to repro the same machine more than once. Interesting. Okay, so the fact that it's happened on your machine means that we're going to need to spend some time looking at it at some point. But I kind of want to play with something different. And that's where we come to tonight's stream. So tonight's stream is going to be about two other extensions that we have for Cake. So the first one is not that one. I typed what I wanted, but then it auto-completed the other one. So we do have a Cake extension for Visual Studio, and it's been sitting in my lap for a little while to work on it. Basically, the current version of the Cake extension for Visual Studio only works up to and including Visual Studio 2017, and the next release should incorporate a change that's already in the repository. It just hasn't been shipped, so I need to test it out on support for Visual Studio 2019, and then we have another extension that we haven't actually shipped yet, and the other extension is on Rider. So for any of you who doesn't know, Rider is JetBrains cross-platform IDE for .NET development. Now we as a team, you'll see it's a private repository here. We as a team started this, we started doing something years ago, literally 3 years ago, but it never really went anywhere. We were working with Matt Ellis, Citizen Matt, on Twitters and GitHubs to create an extension for Rider. For one reason or another, it didn't really go anywhere, but I told Nils that this existed, and Nils said that he wanted to have a play with it. So, in the last week, Nils has gotten it to a point where it's at least running again. So it was essentially, like I say, it was 3 years old. The code base was most likely out of date. I haven't looked at this PR at all. And Nils is saying he's a fan of Rider. So I am as well. I have used it. It's not my workhorse. It's not the one I always use. But depending on what I'm doing, I do flip between Rider and Visual Studio and VS Code. So Nils put up this PR and he put it in my ear that I should look at it. So I kind of want to look at that. I want to look at that and Visual Studio. So while I've got Nils here, I want to at least have a working understanding of how this thing works. So Maurice is saying there that there is a Rider's chocolate package, and I think the maintainer might be Maurice. Let's go and have a look. Let's bring it up. I'm fairly sure it is, but let's go and have a look. And if you haven't seen it already as well, we did turn on the new. I'm quite happy with this. We turned on the new documentation site for Chocolatey. There's now a docs.chocolatey.org subdomain, which when it comes up, my machine is running really slow. There is a new static HTML version of the docs site for chocolatey.org. It's really pretty. Steph's done an amazing job in terms of styling it. I would encourage you all to check it out. There is also an amazing search engine in play now using Algolia. So if on here you wanted to search for using the Jenkins system that we have for automating certain things within Chocolatey, then obviously you can find that within the search quite easily, much better than the search we had before. So I encourage you to go and have a look at that. So that shipped on the first day of the 12 days of Chocolatey. So if we go in here and search for Rider, I think what we'll find is, I could have copied the link that you gave me, Maurice, but that involved copying and pasting. So it is Maurice himself. So my understanding of, curious how the docs knew I wanted dark. So the dark, so the theme choice is based on your operating system preference. So if your operating system preference is dark mode, it will default to that, I believe, and it will pick up on that. But obviously you can override that by selecting whether you want the dark mode or the light mode. It's very clever. Like I say, Steph's done an amazing job with all of it. So have a play with it. Any issues, let us know. There is a dedicated repository now, so if there are any issues, feel free to raise them on there and we can take a look at them. So what I've done in order to get things set up, I have installed this thing called Intellij. Now, I have never used Intellij before. Now, I'm hoping, since Nils is in the chat room, he can walk me through what I need to do to at least get started with this. So I think I'm right in saying that I'm going to be a Kotlin dev, because I think the majority of the work that Nils has been playing with is Kotlin based, so not Java specifically. But I did notice, Nils, that I've cloned the repository locally, and I've opened the folder in Intellij, and straight away it jumped up with a couple of notifications that I left sitting here to see what I needed to do. So the first one was that the Gradle build script was found. So I then got an option for rider and for import. Should I click on either one of those? And I'm assuming that's going to set up the Gradle build and, I don't know, do stuff with Intellij. So Nils is saying it's a beast, much like Visual Studio. So I'll wait for the answer on that one to see which button I should click here or whether I should just close it, and then we'll go to the next one. Reese sent me a message on Slack. I'll just see what that was. Which folder did you open? I opened the top level, so not the rider folder. I opened the first folder. Should I have opened the rider folder? So I opened the cake-rider, which contains a rider folder. Yes, the rider folder. Okay, so let's go ahead and close this then. So I'm going to close this out. I could actually probably just open another one. So File, Open. So let's go down a level into the rider folder then. And then let's click OK. And let's open it in this window. See what it does. I'm quite excited about this, because, like I say, I've never done it. So it's indexing. It's importing. Indexing paused due to importing the rider Gradle project. Okay, so I guess that's the thing that would have happened if I clicked the button. So let's see what this does. So on the left hand side here, I've got, how do I zoom it in? I want to make this a little bit bigger for the stream. Appearance. Enter presentation mode. Not really what I wanted to do. I'm not entirely clear on how I zoom in, but maybe that's only once I get to the text. Okay, so what do I need to push, Nils, or what's the interesting parts of the code base that you've been playing with? So there is a Kotlin folder here. So there's actions, there's model, so there's the cake actions, cake tasks tree action. I've just double clicked on that file and I'm going to open it up. So it's JDK 1.8 is missing. Download Amazon Corretto. I've got no idea what that is, but I'm assuming I need it. I'm going to click the button to download Amazon Corretto. See what that does. Nils is saying yes, so that's a good start. Shared indexes for JDK Corretto are downloaded, so it's downloading it. Download pre-built shared indexes. I think that sounds like a good idea. Gradle JVM is configured. 1.8 is set to, that sounds good. There's a tree in the tool window. What was that for? There's a tree in the tool window, and then so do I just press play, Nils, and it'll start debugging the extension? It should be. Or have I not checked out your branch? Maybe that's a good place to start. See, I thought I did. No, I would have done. GitHub, organizations, Cake, and then Cake Writer. Git. Oh no, I'm not. Look, interesting. Okay, I thought I had. Git checkout. Oh no, I'll tell you what it was. So there was lots of zeros and ones being moved around on my VM, Windows updates and all that sort of stuff. So I preemptively installed Intellij on my Mac with a view to running it locally on my Mac, and I checked out the right branch on there, but I didn't do it over here. So if I do a git PR list here, it'll probably ask me which one I want to look at. Then I'll be able to do a gh checkout, gh PR, I'll get there, PR checkout 1. Let's see what that does. That didn't work, is it? See, let's do this then. Because it did something that I think it didn't want to. Okay, so there's a few comments flying past there. Gradle and good in the same sentence. Weird. You could simply start at top right, drop down, select run plugin, then push. Okay, so let's try that. So I'm on the branch. I'm on the right branch now. So we're back in Intellij. So I thought I did that. Okay, let's. I'm going to click it again. Okay, I don't know what that button's trying to make me do. I think I've done that. Okay, so there is a, you could simply start it top right drop down, which is this one, which, okay. So, but I keep clicking the button thinking that it's gonna do what I need to do, or do what it needs to do, but it's not doing it. Well, let's let it do this thing. Like I say, I'm not really giving it a fair chance. I don't understand the mechanics of how all this works. So let's let it finish importing the Rider Gradle project and see what it does. Still doing the thing with the stuff. This is currently munching through my available CPU. Yep, it's seems to like a CPU. Does Intellij? I guess that's good. Oh, it's saying not responding now. It's back to responding. Let's give it some more cycles as well. Let's close off some of this other stuff. It's about all I can uninstall. So Unable to save settings. Please restart Intellij. Okay, should I do that before or after? I think you need a 896 core machine, then you could play Doom. And I saw that. I saw some folks playing with various things. Okay, I'm gonna close it, I guess. Background tasks are still, so yeah, I can't close it because background tasks are still running. So which one wins? So this is what I don't know. I'm scared to close it. It's still doing some stuff. These things are still ticking along. So maybe nils, but I mean, I kind of want to have it running as well. So part of me wants to kind of leave this to, yeah, I want to see it. But so what are you suggesting? That you've got a, when you say release, you're saying in a GitHub release in your fork. Is that what you're referring to? So nils a. Okay, let's have a look to see what you've got over here. So again, just so I can start putting some of the pieces together. So, ooh, will I have access to it? I'll have a look because it'll be private as well. So let's. Was it just into your own organization, into your own personal account? Do you know if VS Code would be good enough option for? It's not a question for me, Augusto. Sorry. I'm not going to run out of hard drive space, am I? While it's doing this stuff. There's nils there. Come on, File Explorer. I think you should be able to access a private fork if you're the maintainer of that package. Project, yeah, sorry. Intellij does have a community edition, yes. I opted to install the enterprise version because I have access to it, but there is a community edition as well. You can do Choco install Intellij-community. I did install Choco install Intellij enterprise. Like I say, I have access to it. So it's done the first part of whatever it was doing. So we're on to the next one. So it's good to know, Nils, because I'd messaged Nils earlier before the stream started to see what I needed to install, and I went ahead and installed the full version, the higher version. Oh, so I do have access to it. So in here, then we have a release, and that release will contain. Actually, what file does this contain? This has a zip file. So is that how Rider plugins are shipped? They ship as a zip file, Nils? Or is it as a jar that's named a zip? Or the zip file contains a jar? I guess we could download it. Let's download it, preemptively download it, and we'll see what's in there as well. Let's go in here. Probably a zip containing a jar. Give him a second. That was my guess, but I guess we'll find out. So in terms of what this current version supports, there's some information here. So there's a tool window to see and run tasks, and then initial scaffold created from the plugin template. Okay. It's thinking. the jar is a, yeah, I don't know. There are 2 jars in there, seemingly. Downloads. Cake writer, lib. There are 2 jars in there. Okay. A jar is a zip archive itself, right? You see, I don't know. So it's reopening the writer project. So let's see where we get to this time. Preparing workspace. So all of, or some of these files you were automatically created for you by running that plugin, Kotlin plugin template. Is that fair, Nils? So now it's telling me that JDK 15 is missing, and I need to download Oracle Open JDK 15.0.1. Okay, so Nils is saying yes to that one. So I'm going to click on the Open JDK 15.0.1, and then it's also downloading Gradle 6.7.1. So that would be an option, but it's specifically saying it wants the Oracle one, not the... So the template comes with GitHub Actions, which created the... So you mentioned that on Slack. So that was on here. You mentioned on your fork that it also added a GitHub action, which is pretty cool. So that came with a GitHub workflow, build and release. So the release would have been when you on a tag, or what did it put in there for you? Oh, look at that. Ooh. Pre-released. Oh, interesting. Okay. And then that publishes. See, that was going to be my next question, is how do we put it, or that was going to be one of my next questions, which is how do you publish it to the, or where do you publish it? But it looks like that's already taken care of for you, so that's good. Okay, okay, good to know. The OpenJDK chocolatey package downloads the files from java.net, so I guess it's Oracle OpenJDK. Okay. I mean, I understand that I could do it that way, but I'm also inclined to let part of me is inclined to let Intellij do what it wants to do, as opposed to me doing something else, because I don't know what additional configuration this needs to do and whether it would do it if it found another version of the JDK in there. So I mean, like I say, I could be doing this wrong. Absolutely is a possibility. This is all new to me. So if I had, so next question then, if I had Rider installed, am I right in saying then I could take that zip file and install it directly into Rider? So could I take that zip file and then say add to Rider? Is that how it works? Because while this is doing stuff over here, in theory, we could open this up over here. Locally, I installed jar, not sure if the zip. Okay, fine. So I'm gonna open something up over here and see what happens. So when you say locally I installed the jar, what does that mean? That's extract the zip file, double click the jar, and it does some stuff? Or rider settings, plugins, gear icon, install manual. Okay. So things are opening in the background, but let's do this, and let's do this. Sure. Next. Next. Oh, hold on. Sure. Next. Let's do it. One of the Gradle tasks produces the jar. Okay. So it's still importing some stuff. But if I come over here, if I do this, so I'm off screen, I understand, but I'm opening things in Rider with the hope of testing some stuff out. So if I go down to temp and go into here and go into here, what does that do? You'll see it coming onto the screen there a little bit. We noticed. Okay, so Rider is open. And it's still importing, so I'm going to leave that to play there a little bit. So let's do this. Let's pull this down, and we'll put this up here. So we've got Rider open. Make this a little bit smaller. So what Nils said there was I should be able to go into preferences, plugins. Oh, there was a plugins. The gear icon, and then install plugin from disk. Okay. And then, assuming that I have that file downloaded, which I don't actually, but let's go back up here. Oh, it really doesn't like me just now. If I extract this guy, trying to extract the zip file to then make it available. Oh, you want me to try the zip? Oh, okay. Hold on then. I'm willing to try that. So let's bring both over then. So let's do. Seriously, what are you doing, machine? Copy. Where's a Finder window? Let's do this, and let's go up to here, into here, into here, and let's create a new something. Oh, that's not good. This license is being used elsewhere on the network. You're logged in. Oh, what? That's not incorrect. Doesn't like me doing that. Okay. That's so let me paste this over here. So what happens if I reactivate? Is that going to steal? I'm just going to shut it down then. It's not letting me hit the shutdown button. I can tab to it, but it's not letting me click it. If I space it, I don't know what that did. Let's try it again. Install plugin. I'm not trying to. So my Windows machine is currently very busy doing some importing of the Gradle machine, which is why I tried to do it on my other machine. So yes, I can, but it's currently very busy. So if I go in here and look for that zip file, what does that do? Oh. Did that do something? Install plugin from disk. Zip file. Open. Oh, Cake Rider. Okay, so it did something, nils, and it's currently says it's there. This plugin enables Cake build, language support, features, tasks. Okay, fine. Seriously, is my mouse broken? Weird. Okay. So I have a build.cake file here. So where do I get a tool? Where do I get the tools window? That is, oh, there, tools window. Oh, cake tasks. Look at that. Okay. So now in my build.cake file, I've now got a task called iOS attach app settings. Oh no, I understand that. That's fine. So let's make this something. Oh, it's just an information. So what? So it's showing me all of the tasks. So if I were to add in another one here and do task Bob and say .does information bill and close that off. With that, it should enable the run buttons above the tree when you select a task. Okay. So I'm not seeing the buttons there be. The refresh button's currently grayed out. Let's do this. Let's close this. But if we close it and open it up again, Windows, Cake tasks. What are you currently doing over here? It's still saying importing. It's asking me to restart again. as it's hard coded to not work on any. That sounds applicable. I'm going to close this again. I only tested Windows and Ubuntu. Okay. I can be your guinea pig for testing on. So let's do another sanity check. What version of Rider did you test on? And what version of Rider do I have? So I've got 2020.2. Is that the version that you tested on? Did I miss a 4? Correct. I was only reading that part. Oh. So Nils has got. I see what you did there, Kim. That's quite funny. I'll give you that. Okay, so I'm opening Intellij on my other machine again. Typed in. So let's try. I'm genuinely curious about all of this, but I'm also. How do I close the solution? Let's try closing the solution and opening up again. Let's try that out and see where that gets us. It's really not liking something. Can you give me access to that zip file? I can try that on. I don't know if I'm in a position to do that, Maurice, but I'm sure that basically I need to ask. The short answer is no. But if Nils could provide you with that, you'd be able to take that for a spin. Kim's saying, I see that Rider saying connecting to the ReSharper host. Could that be part of the problem? It is saying, so I'm still wondering whether it's the licensing side of things where I was using it on 2 separate instances that's causing it problems. But it also seems to be stuck now saying saving project. So that's a little bit worrying. But no, I did happen to notice that as well. I would like it to be doing something, but it's not, unfortunately. So you know what? I'm gonna quit it and come out. Although it doesn't seem to want to quit. I'm going to be forced to quit it at this point. So let's make it go away. Okay. So I've killed Rider because back on my other VM, Gradle seems to be doing something. Not quite at that point. It was getting close. It's getting close. I just wonder whether it's not liking everything running at once. So I mean, I am asking my machine to do quite a few things at this point. So it's encoding and transcoding video that's being uploaded to the internet. I'm running a VM. I'm making Gradle do a bunch of stuff that I don't fully understand. So it is busy at the minute, but not that busy that it would stop working. But I mean, so we're back to importing the Rider Gradle project, and it's still attempting to update the indexes. So hopefully now that I have, what did it ask me for? It asked me for JDK 1.5, so I think that's been installed. It asked me for something else that was 1.8, and I think that's installed. So assuming all of those things are now in place, I'm assuming that the Gradle project can then open. It's telling me it's configure projects. There are tabs along the bottom. There are. So if I click on build, Gradle daemon started in 11 seconds. So there is a icon here indicating that a build is progressing. And Maurice is saying currently installing Rider on Windows. Good. I mean, the other thing that I want to look at this evening, if we get a chance, is the Cake extension for Visual Studio. But like I said, I wanted to take advantage of Nils being on the chat just now to see if we can get at least this running, so I can know roughly what I need to do to then be able to provide some input on it. Because I know that you'd mentioned, Nils, that there's the potential for lots of things being added into the extension. So I would be curious to hear at some point what sort of things you'd like to see added into this. Oh, now what's it doing? It's now downloading the Rider RD 2019.3.zip. So it's found something else it needs. I think I've still got enough hard drive space for all this sort of shenanigans. I cleared up a bunch of... Oh, that's gone red again. I had that in the blue earlier this evening. I uninstalled a bunch of stuff because I knew that there's likely to be things I needed to install. It does seem to be downloading the internet. Please restart Intellij idea moments ago. So should I restart that again? But you're telling me you're downloading. So which one do I believe? You can't really see that. It's telling me to restart, but it's also saying download. You know what? I'm gonna do it. You told me I had to, so I'm gonna ignore the terminating of tasks. Let's open it up again. Hopefully we'll get there. I mean, I've never done any. Oh, now I'm out of focus. I've never done any Java development, so I don't know if this is par for the course. I'm still out of focus. There we go. I don't know if this is par for the course. I don't know if this is really just a problem with my machine, or this is just initial getting things started. Oh, okay. So within the Cake scripts, we could have the equivalent of the code lens that we have in Visual Studio Code for the run task and the debug tasks. Also, debugging is currently not working. Okay, expected. That's fine. I'm fairly sure I double clicked it, but let's try again. Okay, because that would be good. I mean, it would be nice to have the equivalent functionality that we have in VS Code in both Visual Studio and in something like Rider. Obviously, some of that is contingent on potentially a Cake language server implementation, so that we can not have a direct requirement on OmniSharp. That's coming later. But yeah, if we can get feature parity between Cake extension in Visual Studio Code, Visual Studio, and Rider, I think that would be a good place to be. And if you're interested in doing that, Nils, then I'm happy to. What's the word I'm looking for? I'm happy to facilitate that in any way that I can. Bearing in mind, I know nothing about Java. I know less about Kotlin, and I've never used Intellij IDEA before tonight. So you already know more than I do. I kind of like the last week Kotlin. See, I've heard that. I've heard very, very good things about Kotlin. I initially thought I was going to play with Kotlin when I was deep into TeamCity, because you can use Kotlin for describing some of the build configurations within TeamCity. But then my previous job, I changed my previous job, so I wasn't as knee deep in TeamCity as I was before. So, but you're getting a bit of. Let's see what you did there. Okay, so what's it doing now? So it's still doing the thing with the stuff. Let's see what it's doing this time. I mean, I'm making an assumption that all of this stuff that it's doing, it won't need to do it once it's all set up. So, kind of hoping if we can get through it once, then we should be able to continue. How's everyone doing, by the way, while we're waiting on this? I hope the COVIDs haven't been impacting on your lives, that you're all staying safe and well. There are rumors here that the area that I live in will be moving into what we have as Tier 3. So we're currently in Tier 2 of restrictions, so we may be going into Tier 3. So additional restrictions in terms of things we can do, where we can go, that sort of thing. Obviously not ideal, but yeah, so SharePoint's a bit of a. Are you a SharePoint developer, Nils? I'm finding out new things about you all the time. I've moved away from that life. I used to do hardcore SharePoint as well. Haven't done it. Oh, there you go. There you go. I was doing Silverlight enabled web parts for a SharePoint solution that we were developing back in the day. There you go. That was fun times. Fun times. Kim's saying, just fine here. The city I live in had 0 confirmed cases. There you go. That's what we want to hear. The thing is, it's getting. I'm starting to know some people that have been affected by it now, like very, very close people. So it is starting to become real, to be honest. More so than it was before. Here we are in Tier 4. Oh, geez, Maurice. I hope you're staying safe. Nils, are you making good backups of your SharePoint? So what's it downloading? It's still downloading the Rider RD. Good. Glad to hear it, Maurice. Glad to hear it. So, I feel we're getting close. I don't want to move away from this until we have it working. But yeah, I spent a good few years doing SharePoint development, Nils. I like to say I look back on it with fond memories, but I don't. But things have maybe moved on a little bit. Where did I stop using it? I think we got onto SharePoint 2017 just as I was coming to the end of the project. So things have maybe got better. I don't know. Okay, it's still downloading the Rider RD. So what is the Rider RD 2019? Should I know what that is? It does seem to be downloading lots of stuff. It's big, whatever it is. So Rider's finished installing on. So it's still downloading, but it's telling me to reboot again. So I think I'm going to let this download finish this time, rather than, because my hard drive's still getting eaten up. But I don't want to restart it this time round. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to let it finish out what it's doing. It's Rider finally finished installing my machine, Maurice is saying. It's the one Rider version to run the plugin, i.e. minimal supported version. Backup is mostly VM snapshots for the customers. Yeah, I'm going to wait until it says it's no longer downloading that before I do anything else. It's still chewing through it. It's a big file, whatever it is. Huh. I was hoping to find out what it was, but I might go over here and do it. Rider RD dash 2019. $100 cases per day. See, ours is slightly higher than that. It's not a. I'd love to get this running, but it's taking a lot longer than I would have expected or wanted to get this set up. But I guess it needs an opportunity to initialize itself. But I'm now worried that I won't have enough hard drive space to do it. Will 4.66 gigabytes be enough? Okay. Oh, maybe should I click that? CPU's going nuts now. I'm going to close that. And I'm going to close that. And I'm going to close this. It's still saying it's downloading. And we're down at 4. It's almost taken a gigabyte now. Whatever this download is. The development folder has 2.3 gigabytes. So that's the folder where you have the repository. Is that what you're referring to there, Nils? So if I go in here, and I go into here, and I go into here, and I go into here. Let's have a look. Oh, I've only got half a gig. So there's maybe a bit more that needs to download then. That doesn't bode well. Do you happen to have a Rider RD 2019.3.zip folder in this thing? And if it does, would it be in the .gradle folder? File hashes, file changes. What's in the .run folder? Okay. There's also a Gradle folder. There's the jar. What's in the build folder? Oh, there's the Rider RD. There's the folder. Is that what is extracted? I don't know. Let's see. Oh, it's now jumped to 2.13 gigabytes. Oh, hold on. So it did something. Oh, now it's downloading something else. Now it's downloading the... Oh, did that one finish? Rider. Build. I'm tempted just... That folder build has most of it. So have you got multiple folders in this, or is it everything downwind of this? Just try to get a sense. You said it was 2.3 gigabytes, so we're not far off that. We've got multiple folds, okay. We're at 2.15 gigabytes. So we're maybe not far off. Oh, it's now doing building of the model, downloading some stuff. It seems to be doing a lot of things now. So to clarify your statement there, Nils, you said you have multiple folders at this location. Is that right? Oh, build successful. There's a cannot do something here, but I don't want to look at that yet. The rest of them are really small. Okay. Importing Maven repository data. Oh, What's it doing now? We're back onto updating of the indexes. I think we're getting somewhere. I think we're getting somewhere close. Still only have one thing in this folder though. Download pre-built shared indexes. Pre-built Maven library shared indexes reduce the indexing time and CPU load. Okay. I'm assuming that that's what this is doing. But what are you telling me? I'm going to say always download. That sounds like a great plan to me. I kind of want this to finish, and then I'm going to restart like it asked me to, and then we might be able to run this. Cannot create plugin from file. Invalid plugin descriptor, plugin.xml, failed to resolve, xi include, could not found document, XML referenced in. Okay. Yeah, but I sort of assumed that it wouldn't be that. Oh my goodness, we're down to 2. How big can the pre-built Maven things be? They can't be that big. Maybe. It seems to have settled. Oh no, it's still downloading stuff. What's the worst that could happen? Seriously, what's the worst that could happen? Other than getting to 0. Thinking about it, I might be able to shave some. Oh no, because would there be? Let's have a quick look in here while we're. There might be some stuff to shave in here. We can close out some of those. Do the same. Just do it. Do it. Was that in response to my question? Yeah, possibly. I just thought somewhere I might be able to clean up though, to help. I've only got the open source version of Chocolatey, so I don't have the cleanup. Ah, you see, saved a couple of gigabytes there. So if I hit this drop down list now, do I now have, that drop down list is still empty. Oh, it was this one that you were maybe talking about before, Nils? The middle one? So I've got run tests, I've got run plugin, run tests, or run verifications. Is that the one that you're referring to? Interesting. Okay. So how about this? How about we try run plugin? Let's do it. Let's run the plugin, see what it does. So does this open up a new instance of Rider, or does it open up a new version of Intellij, or how does it actually? Oh, I need to click the button now, don't I? Verify the plugin. It's a new instance of Rider. So if I hit the green button now, let's see what it does then, shall we? Oh, updating indexing is almost finished. Or it's jumped a big chunk. Oh, it's doing something. Close you out. It's thinking. It's now doing a compile of Kotlin. Still doing a compile of Kotlin. How long does the compile take on your machine, Nils? Just as a point of comparison. I mean, need a bigger machine. 5 seconds. Beautiful. Mine's been running for 1:12 so far. You must have a beast of a machine. But if you're running SharePoint, you kind of have to. I like your faith in my machine here. I don't have. I mean, my host Mac is not a terrible machine at all. It's actually quite a powerful machine. But I just think, one, I don't think I've given enough, what's the word I'm looking for? Resources to this VM. But I also, I'm reluctant to, because I know that doing the whole streaming and encoding thing takes up its fair share of stuff. Oh, what's this? I have some warnings here, I'm assuming. Let's pull this over a little bit. Runtime jar file has version 1.3, which is older than the required for API 1.4. Okay, is that the same error? Yes, it is. Same error. Same error. Look them up, and the answer was okay. So we're at the compiled Java stage. So okay, so this is where my point of understanding goes before. So is Kotlin is a, how do I get this right? Kotlin is a superset of Java. So once we compile Kotlin, it then compiles the Java. Is that right? Curious as to what the response to that question is. Kotlin compiles to bytecode. So why is there a independent? So is there other Java components within the extension, or why does it have to do both a compiled Kotlin and a compiled Java? Okay, so there is a Java component. Okay, good to know. Good to know. I see. Okay, hence there's a Java folder and a Kotlin folder. See what I did there. So the Java is for the editor side of things. Okay. Shared. Okay. Kotlin is not good with UIs. Oh, I see. Okay. Okay. Hence why. So this is giving you the form. Okay, I see what you're saying. I'm just trying to in my head, I'm trying to draw some parallels between the .NET world. So I'm probably going to offend someone, but you would use something like F# to do some of the back-end processing, but you might use C# and WPF to do the UI side of things. Is that a sound sort of analogy there? Okay, so we're on the same page. Good. So this compile Java seems to be taking longer than the compile Kotlin. We'll give it another little while. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. And I'm just seeing these icons now. So this one, it's hard to see, but this has got the little Pac-Man style Kotlin logo on each of these files here. Whereas this one doesn't. So this is straight Java, .java at the end, whereas this is a .kt for Kotlin, okay? So far, so good. Okay, so how much longer do I wait for this before going to do something else? I really want to have this running so I can see it running, and if there are any problems I can ask the questions, and then we can maybe look at doing something else. It didn't look like there was that much Java code, to be honest. But I don't know. Did you see my message? No. Which one? Oh, sorry, you sent me a Slack message. No, I did not. Let me have a look. It does something on my machine. Oh, all your buttons are up and running, look. So you have the refresh button works for you, the play button works. Interesting. And what project are you in there? You are in... Oh, look at you. You've got all the things I want. Yeah, thank you. So I quite like the featured.chat. So it turns out that one of the other folks that's a member of the live coders Twitch team that I'm a member of, they are responsible for creating featured.chat. Because I sent a quick message to them in Discord to say that I've been trying it out and it seems to work really well. So it's good to know that it's someone else involved in the team that is responsible for it. Because like I say, it seems really polished. I don't know if you had a chance to play with it, Kim, but it works really well from what I can see. But the fact that Maurice has got secret squirrel projects of his own, what's that about? I have not enabled the ticker, no. The ticker didn't... I might go back and look at the ticker. The way that it works out of the box is the ticker wants to be basically where I've got the... Oh, my finger goes. Where I've got this little footer thing here, the ticker wants to run basically behind that. But I might be able to move it to have it at the top of the screen. So the idea with the ticker is that any message you've highlighted, it just goes into a ticker at the top, so you could always see that. I just didn't know how useful it would be. But I thought I'd play with it. I thought I'd let you guys play with the featuring of the main messages and see how that goes. And then after playing with or seeing some of these things pop up, and see how they work out. I thought we could maybe extend it from there. But they're all kind of... Oh, so I've maybe only changed the default icon on the follow. Because the default icon, I changed it to this dude. Because this is the guy from Sonic. I thought he was pretty cool. But maybe I haven't changed the default on the other ones, and that's why the bits... No, the bit... See, the bits was a triangle when it came before. Oh. Sorry, getting distracted. Marisa saying you know about that. Oh, so it's that one. Okay, fair enough. Java compile is done. So we're now at the run IDE. So this is where it's going to spin up. Is this where it's going to spin up Rider? What does this one do? Oof. Does the sound come through on the stream? Because there's sound in my ears when that thing goes off. Is there sound coming through in the stream as well? If there is, and if it's annoying, I apologise. Oh. Because I just heard like a little dingle when Maurice did that cheer. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Oh no, it is on. No sound on my end. Interesting. Huh. I sort of thought it would, if I'm honest. Does it come up with that? Everything looks like it should go out when that alert pops up. Don't know. Don't know. So we've been going for 13 minutes of this run plugin. I don't think we're going to be able to do much development work on this if it's going to take this long. More downloads going on. What's it downloading this? Where are you seeing that? I'm seeing an indexing. Where are we at with... Oh my goodness. Another half gigabyte's gone. But if it's going to take this long to... It's not ideal, is it? Where are you seeing downloading java.net? What am I missing? Oh, this thing up here? No? Oh yeah. Download JBR. What's this? An illegal reflective access operation. That seems harsh. Something else happened there. Please configure reporting this to the maintainers of reflection util. Illegal access equals warn. Okay. Oh, I've got a... Oh, what do I need to do here? Well, I can get that. Maybe. NetBrains. This guy. Copy. Paste. Activate. License to... Can I continue? Did I click the right button? I think I did. What's it doing? Where's Ryder gone? It does seem to, yeah. It does seem to like the RAM. I also type my credentials the first 5 to 10 times. Okay. Does that mean that I need to run it again, or is Ryder doing something in the background, do you think? You know what, I might need to... We've got 26 minutes left. I'm almost tempted to boot this VM and give it some more RAM, give it some more CPU, if it's going to be like this. I can't remember how much this has got. Let's have a look. This computer, this VM currently has 8 gigabytes of RAM and 2 processors, 2 processor cores. Oh, what's that? NGen Rider Assemblies exe, .exe. Sure. What's the worst that could happen? Okay, so now that this is up, should I do new solution? Let's do new solution. Yeah, exactly. I saw the .exe because one's not enough. Open file or folder? Open a folder? Open a folder. Let's do that. So let's do... Let's create a new one. 3. Oh, that's another half a gigabyte gone. Temp, cake test. There's a folder that's got something in it. No, I want to open a folder. Why do you want... Eh? There we go. Okay. It's doing something. .4 minutes. Oh, here we go. Here we go. It's thinking. Initializing. Initializing. I'm worried that there's something else going on in this VM. I think there's some Windows updates happening in the background as well, which is not going to be helping. Look at the right tabs. Oh, I see cake tasks over here. Should I click it? Oh, ooh. Okay, so we expand this guy. Build.cake. Okay. So I'm not seeing anything on the screenshot that Maurice sent through, all of these are lit up. On his one, he has... Oh, there they go. There they go. So then, if I push this button, there's an execute cake task. There is a create a run configuration. There is a... What does this button do? These buttons don't have tooltips. So if I click this one, I'm going to push it. Kim has told me I should. Oh, so it's running .NET Cake, build.cake, target default for velocity normal. So what does this thing actually do? This thing does information hello cake. So are we going to see that output? And also, the .NET Cake, is that what you've put in, Nils? I think it must be. You've put that in. So you've got it using the .NET Cake by default. That's hard-coded. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. So then, if I come in here and I do task Bob does information bill semicolon. If I save that and I cannot save files, unable to open the file for writing. That doesn't bode well. Worked a second time. So if I come over here and I do refresh, oh, now I get Bob. Look at that. So what happens if I double click that? Nothing, that's fine. If I come in here, oh, it does work. Look at that. Okay. So if I press play again, will we get Bill being output? Okay. So I could stop it. And I've got a pin tab button. The target Bob was not found. Why was the target Bob not found? Target Bob. Yeah, that was my... Let's just make sure that it's not a glitch in the matrix and the save still didn't actually happen. So if I go to here, temp cake test. Let's have a look at this over here. Yeah, it's not actually saved it. File. Save all. Still not saved it. I think that's exactly what's happening, Kim. Yeah, there's some weirdness happening there. So it's not actually saving it at all. I'm reading the file through Rider, so when Rider thinks it's saved, I get that content. Okay, makes sense. So at the minute, for whatever reason, that file is not being updated. Don't know. But that explains why Bob's not there. But if we go back and run weirdness. It could be, but I mean, can we create a new file here? Add file test.cake. It's another test then. So what happens if we put in a second one? So in here we're going to do task nils dot does didn't go far enough over information test. If I do this and I do a wee refresh here, now I get a test.cake and now I've got a nils. Just give everyone full control on that folder and remote access. And the VM IP on the DM side on your router. Why did that not give me anything? Oh, because I'm not actually doing anything with that one. Run target. Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, it's not actually doing anything, I don't think. Our target equals argument target. I'll get there. Target. And then default. If we do that one again, we did in the build.cake, but not in the test.cake. So because that is the entry point and there's no load preprocessor directive, it wasn't doing anything. There we go. So then we see the output test. Shiny though. Okay, so I know it's taken us a while to get here, but I'm genuinely happy that this is working, and I'm genuinely quite impressed that it is. So we've seen here that this, what is essentially a use the other button, this one here, create a run configuration. I'm going to click it. What does it do? What does it do? I clicked it. Oh, then click the add configuration. Okay. Click the plus button to create a new configuration based on templates. So I'm going to assume that I expand down here and I click on this one. Name, test.cake, nils, script path, task, verbosity. And then I'm going to click OK. Or do I need to do something else first? Do I need to do the plus sign? Or which part? The plus sign? Or just hit OK? I think there's a little bit of a lag. Simply OK. Okay. Oh, so now this brings it up into here. So if I don't have this open, I can now just up here say run this one. So now with that selected, when I hit this green play button, then it will run that. Look at that. So you're essentially promoting that as a configuration. So let me understand this correctly then. So the cake.task window is showing you all of the available tasks, but all of those available tasks may be each individual step in part of your build script. But in terms of the things you're actually interested in doing within this rider instance, you may only want 2 or 3 of those. So you can promote those up here into this window. So you would then be able to select build or test or publish, and then you can quickly select which one it is and then play it. Interesting. Oh, sorry, and that is saved in the .idea folder, i.e. can be checked in. So in the idea folder, and then in here, one of these files, it has this configuration contained within it. I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah, pretty cool. I'm genuinely impressed. Yeah. So are we at a point that we should merge this and allow you to continue? I mean, I've not looked at any of the code, but I'll be honest, I wouldn't know where to start. I mean, I can pretend and have a look. Let's do that. Let's pretend on stream that I know some Java and I know some Kotlin. And let's have a look at this pull request. Love it. Love it. Let's see how many files and folders we've changed as part of this PR. 39. I updated the template, added some modifications. So currently there's a tool window which will show all the cake files and parse them into here. Beautiful. Clicking on the cake icon will only active when task is selected, creates a new run configuration. We've just spoken about that. That configuration can then be run. We've seen that working. I think there are a ton of things that we can do. I think there are a ton of things that you can do here. Absolutely, yes. I added 2 commits, adds another function to the tool window, and replaced the cake icon to better distinguish between the two. This is strictly out of the make it run again scope, but I like it better. The left icon play button, current task, and the run configuration, absolutely like it. I added one more commit at the code, and the code had the Gradle JVM set to Java home, which worked fine on my machine, but then when running the build on GitHub Actions, I have set it to 1.8. Okay, fine. So let's pretend that I know some of this what some of this code is doing. Let's have a look. So that's the YAML file. So this is the workflow YAML file that was created as part of the template creation that you did. So this is the one that did the set up all the GitHub action for you. So that's fine. This is the one that did the release on your one, which if it was tagged or released, it would create the artifacts. So I think I'm okay with that too. You've added a gitignore file in the rider for all of its stuff. Now you've explicitly ignored the .idea folder, but did we not just say that that would contain some stuff, or you wouldn't check that into source control, or that you could check it into source control? Or is this a different folder? That is that one. Also from the template. Okay, fine. Compiler.xml. Want to become famous? Not really. I'll leave that with Maurice to. Oh, he's already on it. Look at that. Test rider.main. Compiler.xml. That's fine. Gradle XML. Lots of XML here. Beautiful. Miscellaneous.xml, love it. There are files added. Sorry, what was that? There are files added that are in the gitignore file. Is that expected? So those files would have already existed within the repository. That's why even with the gitignore file in place, it's seeing the modification. So there's a question over whether we should retrospectively go back and remove those files from this repository now that the gitignore file is being ignored. Short answer is I don't know. I could possibly follow up with Matt to see if he can provide some guidance there. So these are the configurations that have been added in as part. So those are the things that gave us these, I'm imagining, but they would have come from the template also. So let's say that we are happy with all of those. And then there's a change log. I'm assuming that came from the and I see you've added in some of the top level stuff, so that's good. Yeah, let's go with that. README. Oh, it's got a to-do list in it. Oh man, beautiful. We removed the build.gradle. Sure. Oh, okay, because we've replaced that with a Kotlin version that does dependencies, repositories, tasks. Oh man, I feel some Kotlin in my future. Detect config. Is that how we pronounce this? Detect. Okay, so this is applying. So this is editor config equivalent, potentially. A linter. Okay, fine. Gradle Properties. This is where we brought in the cakebuild.net plugin version. Okay, so this is where we'll be updating this as we create new versions, or it will be updating as we're creating new versions. This is where we specify what versions of Rider we're targeting. Fine. Makes sense so far. Gradle wrapper properties. We added a distribution URL. Okay. A Gradle W file that has got a new license associated with it. I've got no idea what a Gradle W file is and why we need one, or why a parentheses has been taken off of all of those, but I'm willing to run with it. As a bat file that would be, I'm assuming it's the equivalent of the Gradle W but for a Windows machine. Sure. All taken from the template. Settings.gradle was deleted and replaced with a Kotlin equivalent. Beautiful. More XML. So this is the form that you created that had the buttons on it. Oh, that looks lovely. Viewed, and this is essentially the code behind for that form. So I'm assuming that there are I don't want to say bindings. I'm assuming that there are bindings between the buttons configured within the form through into what we actually do in here. That's a bit of a guess. This is the Kotlin file, so they've removed some of the shared. Fine. Get window. Action performed. Expand all. And then create one oh, that was the bringing up of the window, right? Fine. Deleted that one. You're saying that was refactored quite a bit. Okay. Same in here. Cake configuration. Set options. This is where some of the state. So this is where we're defining based on, okay, whether on Windows, whether we're on something else. So this is assuming .NET Cake, .NET Global Tool version of Cake is installed, and it's constructing the command line arguments to pass into that. Beautiful. That one was deleted. Get name, get configuration factory. Do not build the project. Okay. Run options. So is there an equivalent of a settings file that we could store some default settings and allow a person to override? Is that where some of this is going? Cake file. Oh, this is where we're parsing the file, is it? We're defining a cake project, and that cake project is made up of get cake files. We're looking through all of the extensions. If the extension is equal to cake, then that's being returned. So this is our get cake files, and then within the cake file we're getting tasks within those. A nice regex there, which is the task definition, and then find all from that and then yield them back. Beautiful. That's very similar to how it's done in the Visual Studio Code extension. The difference being that I think this regex is brought out as a configuration parameter, so that if you have a different way of defining your cake scripts or cake tasks, then you can apply a regex specific to your setup. And then I was going to say, is there a difference between the casings there, but that is that rather than that. Java's case sensitive, right? Or is, yeah, that, I'm right in saying that. Beautiful. Yeah, okay, I thought it was. I mean, I'm just having just a very cursory glance of this. I mean, I've got no basis to question any of it. I'm just curious as to how some of it's put together. Is task selected? Return get selected task, and then selected task task.run, and then you're doing task.run, specifying what you want to do. Okay. Refresh tree is the button that's refreshing the tree. Recreating that tree by calling the get cake files. Makes sense to me. And then we deleted a file, deleted a file, deleted a file. Lots of file deletions, love it. Plugin.xml, cake writer. Yeah, okay. Build.net, task. Okay, I see that. So we're speaking about changing the icon. Makes sense. Could we probably get Matt to look at it? Essentially, I'm kind of poking in the dark. I could certainly ask the question. I can. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I can definitely ask the question as to whether that's a possibility. Yes. So I'm going to say, or should I leave this PR open then? or do you think I should merge it and just ask him to look at the current state? Or what would you prefer? Would you prefer a sanity check of the PR if I can ask him? Or would you just look at where we are now and because I can approve it but not merge it. Leave it open. Okay, so I'm gonna approve it then, and I can leave it open, and I will ask Matt if he would be in a position to look at the changes and see what he thinks. Let's do that. Yeah. And maybe he says no. He might. Well, he might say no, I'm not going to look at it, and then he might look at it and say no. Both of them. But yeah, I'll reach out to Matt and see if he would be in a position to have a squint and see where we get to. But no, this has been really useful. I've enjoyed getting to the bottom of this, and it took perhaps longer than I thought it was going to, but I'm sort of assuming that having done all of that work, when I click it the next time, it should be a lot faster. And I might do that just as I'm closing down the stream to see if it runs a lot quicker the second time round. Because I'm sort of assuming that it's still not even updated yet. Because obviously, well, it's still indexing dependencies and stuff. So it's obviously still trying to do some stuff. What's my hard drive at now? It's still going down. But it's all good. Let me just click this while I'm closing down the stream and we'll see how long it takes. But yes, no, I appreciate all the work that you've done on getting that even to the point it's at just now, Nils. I think that's a great effort. And if you are wanting to, I mean, I'm certainly not going to stand in your way of getting in developing that further. More than happy to let you do that. If you've got any questions, feel free to ask, and I will let Matt know that it would be great if he could take a look, and we can look at that. So this is kind of what I'll be focusing on the next few streams anyway. My plan is to monitor this one. I probably won't have any active engagement in it, mainly because I don't know any Kotlin or Java, but I mean, I'm willing to learn. But what I might do in the next stream would be to focus on getting the Visual Studio extension to a point that it's building, getting ready to ship it. I mean, my understanding is that it's pretty much ready to ship. It's just really looking for some testing. So I was going to do some testing on Visual Studio 2019 on this VM and have a play with that and kind of monitor what you're working on in the background. So that's going to be my focus for the next couple of streams. And then what I'm going to look to do is, as we get closer to the 1.0 release of Cake, there is a scope of work which is to start updating some of the add-ins to use the latest version of Cake, and therefore the latest version of Cake.recipe. So that's kind of what my next few streams are going to be focusing on. So if that's of interest, then definitely hang out. Augusto, I don't know if you're still on the stream. Augusto's been doing a bunch of PRs and changes into Cake for some stuff, so credit to him for what he's been working on. Appreciate your time there. Pascal's still doing a bunch of documentation updates. Still here. There we go. So yeah, Augusto's been getting busy on the ANSI renderer, ANSI console renderer. I saw him playing with as well. So lots of stuff happening in the Cake ecosystem. So I know that Matthias is still working on the Docker builds and getting those to a point where we can ship them. So once all of those things are aligned, and now that the Cake extension for VS Code's shipped, we're getting close to shipping the 1.0 release of Cake, ready for folks to take a look at. So keep an eye out on that. So thank you for hanging out. I hope that it's been useful. didn't really do much tonight, in fairness, but it's been quite good fun. I enjoyed it. Streamlabs OBS sort of stood up to the task, so happy that that's working. And I think I might stick around with this. And featured.chat, Maurice, seemed to be working well for you. I think you sent one note to say that there was, it kind of squeezed some of the emoticons together. But in general, I think it's going to be useful. So if there are any, the idea there, obviously, if there are things that either Maurice or Kim or anyone, if anybody else wants to have mod access to that, let me know. I'm happy to give you access. It's not a problem. It just means that it brings certain things in my focus a little bit easier. So that seems to be working. So that's good. So for now, I'm going to say that's the end. So I'm going to see if my please keep the feature. I plan on keeping it. I'm like I say, we might look at the ticker to see if that's going to be useful. I've had initially I thought it wasn't going to work at all, but I think potentially it just takes up a little bit more screen real estate at the top. We could definitely look at playing with that, Maurice. But for now, I'm going to do the switching off of the stream, and this part I haven't tested yet, so obviously trial by fire. So this is either going to switch everything off and send a tweet, or things are going to break and I'll have to do it manually. But I'm going to click a button. So thank you all for hanging out, and we will see you. Yes, stay safe, Maurice, and everyone. I will see you on the internet. Talk to you later.